Okay, so the last one I'm gonna go ahead and help you with, and you could go ahead and do the last one for on your own. Okay, I did change it a little bit though. Everything stays the same except for the number. So just a little change. Okay, you can calculate it. It's basic math when you calculate it basically. Okay, so we'll wait till we get there, but remember that it's really just multiplying the top, multiplying the bottom, and then you divide it at the end when you are done. Okay, so basically, if you look at your given, it's grams. So grams of givens, you always start with your given, and so it's grams, and then you end up with moles of acetylene. So now in here, sometimes it will say the wording. Sometimes you have to look for it. But this was is, we haven't really taught it to you. We went ahead and just put in the compound in there. Okay, so at the end, that will be your unknown. So your moles of unknown should be last on the top. Okay, so this is the one that we need to use to at least so you can check your answer. So again, I prefer that you don't use these, but just at the end you could always check your answer, especially where that one mole is. Okay, so this one we're gonna avoid to use this one. So we'll go ahead and go straight to the to what how to really solve it. Okay, so of course you always use your strategy of grammar always. Okay, because that will help you so much with knowing what's going on in here. Okay, so given the given again is 28 grams of oxygen, so it will be the number that they give you. That's what G means, given number. So 28 grams, and then we're going to go ahead and put O2. Your unknown, keep in mind that there is no number in your unknown. So your unknown is what we're trying to solve. So really it will be the moles of acetylene because that's what they're asking for. How many moles, right? So moles, and we're going to go, instead of writing that whole word, we'll just put C2H2. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the molar mass. Now, which of these two have talks about grams? Well, the only one that talks about grams is oxygen. Now, keep in mind that sometimes it's gonna have both, so you're gonna have two answers sometimes in molar mass. Okay, but not on here, not on this section. Okay, so in here, since oxygen is the one that has grams, we're gonna go ahead and okay, and use this one. Okay, so again, oxygen. So oxygen, it has two of them, has two atoms, and each oxygen has 15.999. So again, you do have a link there. All you have to do is click on it and look for oxygen, and you should be able to get that number. Okay, once you multiply it, it will be two. Oops. 2 times 15.999, and it will be 31.998 grams. And I'm going to go ahead and guide myself here, oxygen, right? Because it's oxygen, which is equal to 1 mole of oxygen, right? Because we're going to need that 1 mole later on. Wherever we put the molar mass, that's where bottom or top, we're going to put the 1 mole, okay? So now let's do the mole ratio. Mole ratio is again the number and the U, the number and the G. Okay, so remember that it's mole over mole. Okay, and the number you always get it from the coefficient of your equation, which is a number in the front, like the 2, the 5, the 2, and the 4. Now here we're just going to use oxygen, okay, or uh, um, acetylene. So it will be C2H2. So really we don't need those two. It doesn't matter. Okay. So in here, okay, so let's start with your U. Your U is C2H2. The G is oxygen. And then the number from the equation C2H2 will be a 2. And the given is oxygen. The oxygen would have a 5. So a 2 and a 5. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so let's get started. So again, we're going to need space for the given, another one for the molar mass and the mole ratio. So you need two more columns. Okay, so now let's get started. Again, we start always, always with your given. Okay, the given will be 28 grams of oxygen. And again, there's nothing here, never, or you could just put a 1. Okay, so how do I know which one's next? By the unit and the element or compound. So it's grams of oxygen. Okay, so again, keep in mind that that's what really how it is. Okay, grams over oxygen. Okay, so which is the one that has grams of oxygen? Well, the only one that has grams of oxygen is a molar mass. This one. So that's why whatever you're going to put in here is already in Gummer. You just need to look for it. Okay, so grams of oxygen will be 31.998. And whatever is equal to, then that's the one you put on the top or at the bottom. It just depends where you're going. So 1 mole of O2. Okay, so we're done with grams of oxygen. Now we need to deal with moles of O2. So moles of O2 has to be the same down here. So it will be moles of O2. Okay. And think about it. We already used given. We already used molar mass. Now the only thing left is mole ratio because you know you're not going to use unknown until the end. Okay, the unknown is really just at the top end. Okay, so in here it will be, and you could tell this is on the bottom. Look, come on. This is on the bottom too. Okay, so that will be 5, and then you just put the 2. So again, all you have to do is really put this over here. That's it. Okay, 2 moles of acetylene. Okay, and this cancels. Okay, and what you're left is moles of acetylene. So, and that's exactly what we want. We want that's the unknown, right? So it will be moles of acetylene. So now keep in mind that we're gonna, now how do you multiply? Now you, remember you're gonna have a different number, okay? So, but it's simple, you guys. It's very simple math. Okay, you multiply the top, then you multiply the bottom, okay? And it will be 28. 28 times 1 times 2. The top part is 560. And I'll just put it down here. Okay, so the next one's tricky. It's 31.998 times 5, which is 1599.9. Okay, so now let's divide it. Okay, so again, that's the top, that's the bottom, and don't forget the line, right? The line. So that means you have to divide it. So it's 560. Why 560 first? Because it's on the top. Divided by 1599.9. And that 0.35, 0.35 moles is your answer. Again, you're going to have a different answer. You are going to have a different answer. Okay, why? Because you have a different number here. But everything else should be the same. The only thing that changed was this. That's it. So now you calculate. Okay, for my answer, it will be this.